With the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has blessed us once again, the blessing of Jumatul Mubarak. May Allah ta'ala accept our attendance and make a reason for our salvation in the hereafter. Then, as you know, that everything in this world, starting from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is fashioned. Allah ta'ala has fashioned everything. And the way Allah ta'ala created the mountain, the earth, raised the sky without the pillars, etc. And Allah ta'ala talks about this. وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ, how Allah ta'ala raised the heavens. وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ, how Allah ta'ala has made the mountains solid on the ground. وَإِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ, and how Allah ta'ala has made the hump of the camel, and how camel can travel in the darkness of the night, etc. So Allah ta'ala is testing us, telling us that how perfectly He has fashioned His creation. Then what happens, a human, when we live our lives, whether a child goes to school, he is disciplined, not only given education, but he is told how to walk, how to talk to people, and then this situation continues through his academic life. When they go to high school, universities, even universities, people are taught professional skill, personal development, etc. So adab is very, very important. Likewise, there's a surah in the Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, and in this surah there is a collection, in fact a big collection of those verses which are being taught to believers. How do you believe? How do you become a perfect believer? And a believer is being disciplined, how he should behave like a believer. After someone has accepted Allah Almighty as wahdahu la sharika lah, after he has accepted Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as Allah's final messenger, then how he should be. The opening verse of Surah Al-Hujurat is, O believers, O people who you believe, do not advance ahead of Allah and His noble messenger, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is all hearing, all knowing. Now, one of the reasons why ulama say that this verse was revealed is because our people, when the series of the revelation were coming upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people wishing, why would Allah Ta'ala send something like this? Why it would be very good if Allah Ta'ala revealed something about so and so matter. They were expressing their desires that we wish that Allah Ta'ala would reveal a verse, maybe according to their own wishes and whims. So Allah Ta'ala condemning these kind of desires, He is telling the believers that do not go past the order of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and fear Allah. So from here we learn that one of the biggest adab that we can have after being a believer, that whatever Allah Almighty says, tells us, after what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam orders to do, then we must do that. We cannot confine our Islam to 5 daily prayers only, that as being a Muslim we're only going to read 5 daily prayers, then we're going to observe the fast of Ramadan, give zakat and do hajj, and after that my way or the highway. No, it does not work like that. But as a believer, we are obliged, my brothers, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed upon us, we have to do that. So whenever masla is presented before us, if someone comes to us and says that Allah has said in the Quran, do this or don't do that, then we cannot raise questions, because this was a tariqah, this was a way of those people, the perished nations. They would challenge the Nabis who would come with the divine message. And then also what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, we have to act upon that. Now, one of the masala that I mentioned is that when someone passes away and it is announced that the family has prepared food and please eat, and we have to announce, we do announce this, because one of the reasons is when the food has been prepared, if someone does not consume it, then it will go to waste, which is a gunnah. But in reality, in deen, in shariat, this thing is not encouraged. Like for example, when someone passes away, the bereaved family, people from their community should come and give them instead. So if someone who has a family member who's gone away from this world, and then he has to organize and arrange food for hundreds of people, Sharia does not encourage this, and this should not happen. And obviously we cannot call this haram because it's not proven from the Quran that it's haram, but it's something that we must not do really. But if someone does that, there's no gunnah upon them as well. But this act is not encouraged. A second thing which normally happens in our community, which people misunderstand very easily, is the mahar. When people get married, and often sometimes what happens, when the father of the dulhan, the bride, asks, what mahar would you like, or would you want to determine the token payment, the mahar, or ask your daughter. Sometimes they say, ask the dulha, the groom, their family to determine. No, mahar is divine ruling. There's a divine ruling about mahar, which people we don't understand this, and maybe we don't know this. The bride, the woman who's getting into a marriage, she determines. Allah Ta'ala has given her the right that she determines, and she can determine whatever she wants. But if he wants to pass that right over to a father, then he can determine. It's the girl or her family who determine and decide what mahar they will, what they want to determine. If the boy, the person who's getting married, the man, the dulha, if he agrees that whether he can pay it straight away or he can pay it later on throughout the life of the marriage, then that's fine. But if he says, I can't afford this or I don't agree this, then the marriage does not need to go ahead. So these are the things, and many other things which we don't understand, which we do need to understand, because these are injunctions laid upon us by the Quran and Sunnah. So there are many other rules that we need to understand, and that's what Allah Ta'ala is saying to us, that once you have become a Muslim, you believe as Allah Ta'ala's wahda wa la sharika lah, and you believe in the nubuwwah of my final messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you have to do what Allah Ta'ala, the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught you. Yes, maybe I have lived a life of 40 or 50 years, and I've lived a life in a certain way where maybe certain things I did not understand, and I continue doing them, and it is rather difficult to change my ways at that point. But as a Muslim, it's an obligation upon us, once we hear all Allah wa Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we have to bow our head and then do what the Sahaba did, sami'na wa ata'na, we have heard and we have obeyed. So may Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq to be brave enough and be open-minded, that once a masala is mentioned to us from the Quran and Sunnah, then know it's from birth, because we are Muslims. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. हाजी बाबर साहब की बहानजी का ऑपरेशन है और नातमुस्तफा, उन इस बच्ची के सेहत के लिए दुआ की गई है, अल्लाह ताला उसको शफा अता फरमाए, उसके ऑपरेशन